Welcome to By the Railside Podcast, where we review everything. Mostly movies, though, for now.
Yeah. Sometimes trains,
Yeah,
and in private,
ourselves.
bunda.
Woot.
That's for the British people watching. That's ass.
Big?
Yeah,
Nice.
obviously. We're not
Of
talking
course.
small butts.
Yeah,
We can't lie.
that is true. And because we can't lie, our names are Fred.
Jonkus.
Who's Jonkus?
I'm Jonkus.
Okay. Like with a J or CH?
I'm not gonna put that information out. They can try and spell my name.
Yeah,
That's why I like it, because no one can spell it.
not even
Here's
you.
a hint: there are two Q's.
Silent?
Depends on how quiet you say it. My whole name could be silent, you know? Well, this is my name. Hi, my name is... And that has two Q's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get into the podcast?
Speaking of fake names, this week we watched and we're about to review Black Widow. Not to be
Yes.
confused with the spider.
Which is deadly, just like the movie, because they are deadly.
I thought you...
Woman assassins.
I thought you were saying that the movie itself was deadly, and I was like, but I watched it and I'm fine. Like, am I a super spy?
Give it a minute.
I've given it several. In fact, it's been 23 minutes. Quick math. Since I watched this
Oh.
film. Since I finished the film.
Oh,
All the
yes. Black Widow. Before we jump into it, though, don't forget to follow us on socials. Twitch.tv/bytherailside. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter is what I meant to say the second time.
And OnlyFans.
Yep.
For those special freaks that like feet.
We should
talking to you, and I hate you.
we should start an OnlyFans, but just post like trains with dicks.
You think someone has made like truck nuts for trains?
Trademarked.
Trademark. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bezos. You rich bastard. Give me $6 million.
I don't think they make truck nuts anymore.
Why?
It's hard to find. I tried to find some for Dad one year because I thought it'd be hilarious.
Well, they still make truck nuts. I feel like it's just they don't carry them in most retail stores because
Yeah.
it's a very niche market of people.
Yeah, the shipping was insane, and the cost of it was also insane. So I was like, sorry, Dad, not worth that much.
Here's what you do. Here, you want a personal gift, and right as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna get it into a description of Black Widow. But
Yeah.
if you want to give your significant other with a truck, or anyone that you love with a truck, a pair of truck nuts, you go down to your local sexual store, and you buy a make your own dildo kit. But instead of doing a whole dildo, you just do the nuts. Just hang some brain and make a mold, and then you can make truck nuts for all your friends. I know personally, if I give them out, they would have to go on a transport because it would just look odd on any normal truck, any full size
Yeah.
truck. If I got them from you, I think a smart car would be accurate. Or no, what are those?
Probably.
You know those ones where you like push them with your feet when you're a kid, the like red and yellow one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remote control car for you.
I was thinking Hot Wheel.
Whoa, calm down there, big shoots.
All right, tell us about Black Widow.
Okay, we're gonna talk to Top Measure today because apparently Blazer 346 is slacking.
Sounds about right.
Calling you out,
Yeah.
McGregor style. Fight me in the ring. In Marvel Studios' action-packed spy thriller Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. That is not 100% accurate. She wasn't being pursued because she's who she is. She was being pursued for the anti-Black Widow juice,
Yeah.
which gets rid of the Black Widow juice, which is the next step up from the Black Widow training.
Yeah. Which, realistically, she was the cause of because she broke out of the psychological stuff. So then they're like, chemical castration time.
I feel like he was probably going that direction anyways.
Oh yeah.
It might have just been like they definitely tightened up security. I think maybe instead of it being like playing around with the idea of like, well, like, because like this is working so far, we don't really need to like chemically castrate people. And then she gets out, like, okay, double security, and also remember that thing we were talking about? Yeah, we're gonna try it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. There's a lot about it that's more subtle. One of the big messages I got from it was you should never just turn a blind eye, because like the mom, the quote unquote mom, is the one that made the chemical castration, so like technology, and ironically she was just like, yeah, no, I don't know who it was tested on. That's not my department. And like, I don't care. It's not. It's blind eye. Turn a blind eye to it. Don't care.
Yeah.
But it was her daughter that got fucking tested on. So she definitely not do that.
Yeah, and that's yeah. When it starts out, the movie starts out with a nice little scene of David Harbour as the Red Dynamo, Crimson Dynamo, the Red Guardian, as he likes to refer it. They're on a spy mission. They're out in Ohio. Little young Natasha and Yelena. Nailed that name.
No, you didn't.
Could have.
Yelena.
There's no G in it.
Yelena. You have to get the
I am not Russian.
the Slavic
The Russians oppressed my people. Can I say that?
Can you? We're white. We've never been oppressed.
No.
Hashtag fight me.
Yeah. We've been poor.
Yeah, but that's
It's
not
kinda
oppression
like-
because we're white.
Yeah. It's because we didn't have any money.
Because we're white?
Oh. But yeah, starts out and then Buddy's stealing something from S.H.I.E.L.D., which actually ends up being the plans for the mind control chemical aspect of the brain.
Das map of the something cortex.
The basal gangula. You know that
Something
that
cool.
herb?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, lots of science stuff. We don't know anything about it.
I'm not in a game,
All we
so.
yeah, all we know is, this movie is actually pretty interesting. Good action in it. I found. Letting Scarlett Johansson actually go deeper into this character and not and having her own film really helped out my likeness for the character, because there's too much flip-flop having the character as just like a secondary character, not the prime focus of the film, because then you get directors that are just like she seemed pretty badass in the first Avengers. In Iron Man 2, she was literally just like an ass. And then Age of Ultron, again, just used as like the romance piece, the classic thing. And this one actually having her doing her action, but as well bringing in Florence Pugh to kill the role.
Oh, yeah.
She was...
I'm very happy with the choice of Florence. How do you say it?
Pugh.
Pugh?
Yeah.
You're
I
fucking
think.
talking about me. It's Pugh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have her say it.
See, like, it's
Hey,
like
if you ever want to be
trough.
on the podcast, Florence, I know you listen.
Yeah. Or if you want to, like, see my bedroom.
She's married.
Not
Zach
anymore.
Braff.
Zach, I can't fucking compete with Zach Braff.
Yeah.
You fucking with me?
No. I'm
I'll
not.
date them both.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Talking about a three-way.
He'll be a stay-at-home sex doll.
The preferred term is live-in slave. They have contracts. I'm not joking.
Ugh.
Google it.
Ugh.
But no, as I was saying, I really enjoyed her as the character. I think, in all honesty, I enjoy her version of the Black Widow better than Scarlett Johansson's.
Yeah.
I don't know like what to call her yet. I'm assuming we're gonna learn more about her in the coming movies, because we'll talk about that later. When the end scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think she fucking killed the character. I don't know if it was like because she had her personality like snatched from her at such a young age, and she finally gets to like be who she wants to be. And I think that really like she really shows that in her portrayal of the character. Um, I'm so glad they did like they brought her in, and I really want them to continue on with her. Like I want her to be a big fucking part of the series.
Yeah, I think it's almost what they're going for when you see all the like throughout the TV shows and some of the movies. Actually, I think it's mostly just the TV shows. They're introducing a lot of characters that are part of the Young Avengers. So she's gonna be. I think she's going for next Black Widow. You're gonna have Kate Bishop's coming in the Hawkeye series, which is gonna be sick. The two little kids in that are Wanda's kids in WandaVision. They're part of the Young Avengers. One's a new speedy guy. One's a little psychic dude like his mom. The grandson of Isaiah Bradley is actually a super soldier. He's like a young Captain America for the Young Avengers. So they're bringing they laid the groundwork to have all these things come forward, and to have Yelena in there, just strictly personality wise is what won me over for this character. She did well in the acting scenes and the action scenes. She does well in the slight breaks for emotional scenes that were in here, like at the farm, near the very end of the movie when Black Widow is just like, hey, it was real for me too. You see the slight break, but then back into a more serious, which just seems to fit with the character the most, because they're supposed to be pulled out of that emotional tie. You're an assassin. You're there. You kill. Mission done. Boom, out. So to see the little breaks in for that character was really cool to see.
And I think they only did it with her because you never really see. Maybe a little bit in the first Avengers movie when like Scarlet was talking to Loki. You never really saw her break, but even that, was it was a ploy, right? Like just to get information out of him. Where I think in this one it seems a lot more genuine, like for the character, and it makes sense because like Natasha knew that Ohio in the beginning of the movie that was fake.
Yeah,
like they weren't a real family, quote unquote. But Yelena didn't. Like she thought like this is my new family, and I think that's because she was so young. I don't know if like Scarlett Johansson had any, or if Natasha, had any training prior to that. It kind of seemed like she did. She disarmed a Russian soldier pretty easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like she crushed it. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her in the MCU, and honestly, this movie like. I don't want to say it like made me a fan of her, but if she's in a movie that I see in the future, it's gonna have more pull if she's in it.
Yeah.
Like if I see her as one of the headlining actors, I'm like, okay, fuck it, I don't even care what the movie's about. Like I know she can kill that role.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that helped her get this one is she was the main character in Midsommar.
Oh
so
fuck, she was. I was wondering where I recognized her from.
Yeah. Which in that movie, wow, she did
Okay.
real well in that movie.
If the Black Widow's at the end, spoilers after they got the anti-sauce, like all like started crying with her, like forcefully, I think I would have recognized her. But since no one did any creepy shit like that,
yeah, no force fucking in this movie.
no bear fires.
Yeah, although the Red Guardian. He tried to get in there.
He's definitely piping mom.
Like he's Melina?
Yeah, Melina.
Yeah.
They're definitely like he's like you can definitely tell because as soon as they like sit down at the dinner table, he's like, I've been in prison for a very long time, and I have a lot of. And then he like looks around, energy.
Yeah.
And then her instant response, I only noticed it because I had the subtitles on. She was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, ugh.
Yeah. Now one of the tough things, especially when watching some of these movies and they got actors that aren't of the nationality, is the accents. I don't know if they went super in depth. I don't fully know Russian accents. It all sounded pretty good. I didn't hear too many breaks. I think the most breaks I heard happened from Florence when they were singing American Pie in the little room before they got attacked by the Red Room guys. I think she had a little bit of breaks there, but overall, the consistency in the accents were very well done.
I noticed a few. The only ones I had issues with were some of Melina's. When she said certain words, that they think that they started with W's, and she said them with a regular W instead of like a V
Yeah,
or a V. Sorry, that should have sounded like a W. Um, and she had her original, like, her speaking voice, which I believe she has like a British accent or
yep,
something along those lines. And I heard that come through once or twice near the end. I did hear David Harbour as well break a few times, but I thought it was a creative choice because it was never. It was only around Natasha and Yelena.
yeah,
So I didn't know if that was like he was like subconsciously slipping back into like the character of their dad.
yeah,
Because when he was in prison, absolutely flawless, perfect. And then as soon as he started talking to Natasha and Yelena, that's when I noticed the slight, like, some of the words would be just a normal, or even like, I didn't write down the exact time or sentence, but I remember half the sentence was just sounded like he was back in Ohio,
yeah,
and then he brought it back. I thought like Florence Pugh like crushed the accent as well. It was kind of confusing though because she spoke English without an accent when she was a kid, and so did
yeah,
Natasha. And Natasha doesn't have an accent, but she was still like sent back to the Red Room. Like she didn't get out until she was, I'm assuming, a young adult.
yeah. I
Uh,
think it was more time spent in America because when you get to the scene where um, she's confirming, it's sort of like a flashback. She's confirming that Dreykov, which is the big bad in this one, he's the controller of the Red Room, is in his building, and she has to blow him up in order to fully defect over to Shield. There was a slight accent from her in that one. It's like, hey, is it all clear? And all clear. I
okay.
can't. I can't do the accent, but yeah. So I think the time that she spent over with Shield helped her go further into the accent. Like I'm sure she could always develop it. The relationship between the two um, seemed um, very real between Natasha and Yelena. Like for the most part, it felt like a sibling relationship,
Yeah.
which I liked. There was a lot of like the back and forth and picking on each other and still doing the hard truths, but also the taking care. So after they're in the after they escape um, Budapest, and they're basically on the run again, they get to a little convenience store, and Yelena's picking on Natasha and bugging her about how she always does a fighting pose, flicking her hair back and forth. But then when she's cleaning up the cut, Natasha comes over and she starts healing it up, which it shows that there is a taking care, and then there's a mutual love for the vest.
Oh, it's fucking dope. You see how many
Yeah.
pockets it had? I just love that interaction. Like she was 100% like, if you're not down with the vest, you're not down with me.
Yeah.
And then at the end, like I didn't even realize I wanted. Well, I guess as we're watching the rest of the MCU, I want to pay attention, specifically Endgame and Infinity War, to see if Black Widow was wearing that vest. Because I think, like, I remember her wearing a vest, and I was like, that seems like an odd choice, sort of out of character for her.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, with watching this, it makes a lot more sense. I would have loved them to like come up with this movie earlier in the MCU, like maybe before Endgame or something like that, just because like it builds on her as a character so much, and I think if they had put this out beforehand, the impact of her sacrificing herself like that would have been so much harder on everyone.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know who knows that she has a sister and a family, right? I'm assuming Clint does, which should make the interaction between Clint and Yelena fairly interesting.
Yeah.
Because as far as Yelena knows, for the mid credit end scene or whatever the after credit scene, because yeah, they only had like one in this one. But the end credit scene, she's like shown her next target after she cleans up Natasha's grave. So this is after Endgame. She's shown her next target by Victoria, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's Clint Barton, and she says, "How would you like to kill the man responsible for your sister's death?" Which, not true at all. He was trying as hard as he could to unalive himself in her stead.
Yeah.
Like, both of them are like, okay, someone's got to die. It's got to be me. And then they just had a fight to see who could unalive themselves first.
Which we'll definitely get into that more when we get to Endgame itself, but that scene is just crazy powerful, and I think she knew that if there's a chance of success that he would have his family back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with her, it was she wanted to make that sacrifice so that it was her ultimate wipe of her ledger.
Yeah.
Is knowing that she was the one that did all that. I gotta find that fucking name. Now the Black Widows themselves are fucking dope. Just the fact that Marvel created this whole basic group of assassins, and it's all women. Like, for diversification, Marvel does pretty well. Now there are some things in the past comic books, I agree, are a little dicey, but that is
Oh,
the
you're
time.
talking about like the stuff made in the fucking 60s?
Yeah.
When, if you weren't openly racist and homophobic, people looked at you weird? Like, well,
Yeah.
it just, yeah, it shows like over time it's changed, and they're doing everything they can to be more inclusive. I think they did a good job of this one, especially with the widows themselves, because I honestly thought it was going to be just like a bunch of people that looked like Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh, like just a bunch of attractive, short white ladies, but they had a fucking plethora of people. And I don't know if that was like he was stealing just from Russia or he was taking kids from all over, because the one girl, the first widow to speak out of that group after they got flashbang anti-juiced.
Yep.
She spoke Finnish. That's what it said on my subtitles anyway. She's like, in Finnish, what are we gonna do now? So I would assume like they take from everywhere.
Yeah.
But the lineup was ridiculous. I would love to see, and I hope they do this at some point, a fight or like a crossover between the widows and the Dora Milaje.
Ooh.
Because like, fucking, you want to talk about girl power? Everyone always talks about girl power in like the not is it? I can't remember if it's Infinity War, near the end of Infinity War or in Endgame. I think it's Infinity War when Black Widow. Fucking blanking on the character names. Black Widow, the head of the Dora Milaje, and the red one.
Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, Scarlet Witch. I think there was another one. But, like, they had the whole, like, they were all in together, and then they did another scene, I think, in Endgame.
Yeah.
Of, like, all the female characters pretty much doing a lineup.
Yeah.
Like, that lineup doesn't have shit on the fucking Black Widow Dora Milaje crossover.
Yeah.
You want to stop or you want to get someone to actually like run the world? Done. If those two groups work together and like flipped, the world is toast. Thanos would be done in a second.
I'm interested in what it'll look like because Dreykov said that he had his widows in every part of government.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know which one of the Dora Milaje is actually a widow.
But does he have one in the Dora Milaje? Because as far as anyone in the world knows, like, Wakanda was a third world country.
Yeah.
So unless he somehow picked up one of their operatives, because I mean, as we'll see next week, in when we watch Black Panther, they have Dora Milaje, or like the equivalent of Dora Milaje everywhere. They have people everywhere. So I don't know, like, if that agent or whatever got figured out and then it turned. I would actually, you know what? I think after this, I want to go through and check the map, because they had a map he was going through of like all the widows.
Yeah.
And I want to see, but I don't. I'd have to try and find a map of where Wakanda is on that one.
Yeah, I think you find maybe in Ultron, where it shows exactly where it is. You probably Google a map.
I tried before, but it would just give me like a map of the country of Wakanda, not like. Although I probably worded it wrong. I was like, "Where is Wakanda in Africa?" And Google's like, "My guy, you so dumb. It's not real." I understand. Where is Wakanda in fake Africa?
Tell me now.
Just need the geographical location of a comic country.
But yeah, seeing all the Black Widows, the Russian super soldier too, the Red Guardian. David Harbour killed this role.
Yeah.
The fact that he was able to make it funny, his determination in this prison to say that he fought Captain America, which is mind-boggling, and the guy even gets called out on it by a character called Ursa, which apparently it was said that that's Ursa Major, which is actually a mutant. So I think he can turn into a bear. And the actor confirmed that that's who he was, is Ursa Major, which means that was the first mutant in the MCU.
Ooh.
Besides Wanda, but they couldn't say it earlier on. But yeah, he calls him out. He's just like, well, when did you fight him? Oh, I fought him on this side. Bro, he was still in the ice. You didn't fight Captain America. And even he believes his own lie to the point where he's asking Natasha after they crash the chopper, which he said had enough gas, no problem.
Yeah.
He asked her, did he talk about me at all? Referring to Steve Rogers.
When did Steve Rogers go back in time? What time period?
But that would have happened. That wouldn't have happened then.
He said he fought him in like 83 or 84. Steve definitely goes back farther than that.
Yeah, but that was after, because this play takes right after Civil War.
Yeah.
So that time travel wouldn't have happened yet. I get where you're going with it, because that would definitely make sense, because I think he went way back, because it was after the war that he stayed.
Yeah, so in
with Peggy.
The 40s. I'd say late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
So he would have definitely been around. Like, technically, that's where I'm confused. Like,
because Old Man shows up, like, later on. So, maybe.
So is he around right now, like, just avoiding everything because he knows, like, it could cause a paradox? Or is there, like, a separate timeline? That just came to mind. Also, there have been other Captain Americas. There was the...
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley was a Captain America. And he stole the suit, and he was talking about in Winter Soldier and the Falcon. He was talking about like stealing the suit and going off to fight something or somewhere. So I'd like to. I want to rewatch that now and figure out where, because like it's 100% possible he could have fought like Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Or someone else.
One of the other super soldiers
like,
they were trying to make.
He's 100% convinced that he fought Captain America. Yeah. And it just seems weird to me. Like, maybe he actually did fight Captain America, and the only reason people are so confused is because, like, no, he was in the ice. But Sneaky Steve went back in time to get some love.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to say pussy.
Yeah, no, not that.
It comes with it.
That's a woman you love. Peggy Carter.
You think she did?
Think she loved Peggy Carter?
No, do you think Peggy pegged Steve?
Could be. That is America's ass.
That's the Captain Carter of
That's the
this
Captain
universe,
Carter
yeah.
I know.
Well, no, that's the Captain Carter. That's how she asserts dominance. Like, yeah, you may be Captain America, but you're going to be strapped on America tonight.
Yeah.
Call me Captain Carter. And you know what Steve said? Yes, ma'am.
Mommy? Sorry.
That's where it originated. Call me Captain Carter. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
But yeah. And him breaking out, the suit looked really good. They definitely, the Russians definitely played it off the Captain America suit. So it's which is what it's meant to be. He is the Russian captain. He's the Captain Russia. I don't know what. I think it is Crimson Dynamo, but I think that was more just like a toss in, like almost like a throwback or Easter egg to the comics.
No, he
But
was the Red Guardian.
yeah.
Yeah, but the Crimson Dynamo was a villain, I believe, like his villain counterpart
Oh, okay.
in the comics.
But yeah, and then they once they get to see the actual sort of serum where it was developed with these with the pigs in Molina, those pigs looked, that was fucked up. That scene where they're just like, hey, just stop breathing, and just dead.
Yes, sir.
Could have lived on 11 more seconds. Do you think in 11 seconds they would have had so much bacon?
They could have. But do you really think Alexei would have eaten himself?
That is true.
That was a really good part, too. He's like, you named the pig after me?
Yeah.
She's like, look at him. You don't see the resemblance? As soon as it panned down, I was like, yeah, no, I get it. Because he was like smacking away on a piece of chicken. The pig just... Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, that was a nice, good scene to show that. I don't know if it shows that she tried to backtrack and she was like, no, I had nothing to do with it, blah blah blah. I just developed this, but just to show the emotionality of the characters and the straight drive that Natasha has, which is just like, hey, well, she still has that mission first mentality. That would have came with years of the psychological torture from the Red Room, and then continued on, not so much torture, but with Shield being like, "Hey, mission, 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 mission."
Yeah. She never stopped being undercover, really. Like, she went from being a secret assassin to a spy.
Yeah.
Which is only slightly different because you don't always have to kill someone as a spy.
Yeah.
Or the person that you have to kill isn't known beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Because a spy's like, yeah, no, we have to figure out who this person is first, and then we kill them. Whereas assassination's like, yeah, we have a name and a picture. Make them the only remnants of this person.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and once again, it was Florence Pugh with as Yelena, just having that being like, hey, look, like everything was Natasha snaps and, hey, this is all fake. Like this is what we're doing. Like, enough of this reminiscing. Like, this is bullshit. And then having Yelena break like that and be like, this was all real. Like, this was my childhood, and you're telling me it was such a great line that was, you're telling me that the best 3 years of my life was fake. Like, it wasn't real. And that was crazy, just to have that, being that her best parts were in this Ohio place, and then they just turned her into this monster, technically.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if you pay attention throughout the movie, every single person from the family, because that's what it is, they are family.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person has either a keepsake or like a memento of their time in Ohio. So Natasha and Yelena each have half of that picture strip.
Yep.
Although I don't know if Natasha still has it. Their mom kept the picture book that they made for like to be better undercover, and it's not explicitly said, but if you pay attention, when Alexei is getting the tattoo in prison and arm wrestling people, on his right shoulder there's 2 roses, and the names translated from Russia are Natasha and Yelena.
Okay.
So they all view it as a family, but I think because Black Widow at this point is like, I need to clear my ledger, like I need to wipe that away. She's just trying to deny it. And the other 2, like obviously they were already like pulling missions before before the girls were even a thought.
Yeah.
So they can, I guess, work it in their brains a lot better. Not so much Alexei. Alexei always seemed pretty much like a dad. Even up to the point where they were like getting taken away, he felt pain. Because if he didn't, and if he didn't see them as his children, he wouldn't have picked up Yelena's toy.
Yeah.
And held on to that. And then obviously, Florence Pugh's character, she didn't know that it was fake. So that's her childhood. That's what she remembers. And something I really liked about that whole dinner scene is like as Natasha is like trying to get them to drop it and like no, we weren't a family. You can see her building up to that as well. Like to the final, no, we weren't a family. It was all fake. Like you can see her break more, or you can see Florence Pugh break more and more as she says it. Like each time she'll be in the conversation, like at least looking at him, and then she'll say it. She'll just like look straight and do a shot of vodka. Until she actually like breaks all the way.
Yeah, and then leaves and goes quietly to the room. I like how she carefully shut the door.
Wait, you know, slam it. That's a glass. The whole door would shatter. It was not. It's not Soviet made. It's homemade in Soviet Republic.
But yeah, and then they finally get up to the Red Room. Badass plan from Yelena and Natasha in order to get up there. Using those great masks, which we saw Natasha use way back in Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And it's impressive that they had the wigs to nail each other's character just in there. Just
you never know. Well, Mom likes to play around. Sometimes she likes to throw on a different hairstyle because I think she keeps the fucking her hair braided up around her head most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't want to undo this. So sometimes if I want to wear my hair down, I just wear different hair. Sometimes you want to be a cheeky redhead. You know, she had a weird anime wig back in that room too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You had to alert the Red Room. What? It's waifu time.
Yeah. But yeah, and then you finally see the plan after Alexei opens up his heart, and where they're in the prison. They finally get to the Red Room, and you see him go into this nice spiel how he's apologizing to Natasha and how everything, like, it all meant something to him, and it's just Melina in the other room who just unlocks the cell. One of the so Dreykov is the main bad guy. He's the one that they're all trying to stop, kill, because he's corrupted and destroyed these girls through over the course of time. Like you said, 1 in 10 survived the process, and he's just picking girls up left and right, which we do later find out that Natasha was actually chosen not just off the street. She was genetic markers and everything like that from birth chosen to be like, hey, this would be a good candidate, which makes sense for the psychological aspect of manipulation, but also showing that from early stages she was they pegged her as being the superhero type, not exactly hero, but a super person type, which is something that Hydra later on goes on to use, especially in the Winter Soldier, when they made an algorithm. Ooh, maybe they got a hold of Zola's algorithm early on when it was Hydra.
Well, it could be.
Maybe that's where Dreykov got it from.
Oh, it could be. But when was that? That would be the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Interesting. I know the Ohio mission was 90s.
Yeah, and she was younger, so yeah, probably in the 80s. I'd say it's definitely possible, because he developed an algorithm for S.H.I.E.L.D., which is also Hydra, which selects or analyzes threats and everything like that. So, could be. That's a neat connection.
Either that or his formula was like based off the Russian one.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the Russians were ahead of the game in a lot of senses.
Yeah. Well, it was the Cold War time, too, so it could be very true that they were ahead. Because a lot of times, they were ahead in the Cold War.
Yeah. Well, they're used to the cold. That's why. It's colder in Russia than it is in America.
That is true.
That's a fact. Kids, write that down.
Yeah.
Wait. Give them 4 seconds.
Okay.
All right, and if you're not
All
done
right.
writing down now, you fail.
Yeah.
You throw out your notebook, piss in the pot of plants, and go tell your mom your failure.
Yep. Loser.
In that order.
Yeah.
Don't tell her about the plants. She'll be mad.
But yeah, so Dreykov, big bad. Really, the actor was pretty good. His accent, I think, was actually like he broke quite a bit when he was talking. I don't think that was an actual Russian guy. I think he was English.
I have
For
no
sure.
idea. I didn't notice his speaking lines too much. I think it was his accent was less understandable to me than all the other ones, so I was reading the subtitles a lot of the time,
Yeah.
so I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue as much. More paying attention to the actual words.
It was neat how he played that mastermind role of being like, hey, we have to do these, and kept on developing ways to control, but also sort of like sit him as head of the table. The pheromone thing was actually really cool. I don't 100% know if that's exactly how that shit works, but it was definitely really neat. The fact that he basically he's tuned his own pheromones so that these widows and I'm assuming other females, well, I think that's what would go, but he just specified widows, but they cannot harm him in any way, which was crazy neat, and it definitely added into Natasha just really digging into him, which is 100% what he should have done. That dude was a piece of shit. Just yoinking just little girls. It's just super controlling. It's like when you get that like 45-year-old that's like that ends up dating like a 20-year-old, and you're just like, okay, 20-year-old, you're an idiot. He doesn't love you. He cares about you because he can control you, because
You're
women his own.
child.
Yeah. And that's what this guy is. He's basically just a predator
Yeah.
creating badass assassins. So at least like they come out of it pretty good, if they come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't have to worry about the fucking 90% that
Yeah.
die.
That's a
Yeah.
big percent.
They get unalived. It's like a comparison is like, I don't think about all the people that failed out of medical school when I'm dealing with a doctor, you know.
Yeah.
So if I was dealing with the assassin, I'm not thinking about, like, I wonder how many people they went through till they
Yeah.
got this one.
Yeah. Sorry, this doctor had like the lowest grades, but he still passed.
Yeah,
That assassin could still kill me, even if it's not the best one.
That's what I don't understand. Like, why do you have to train all these assassins, right? Like, you easily could have taken instead of unaliving that 90%, implant bombs in them, because I'm assuming they were children, right?
Suicide Squad.
So yeah, you got your own personal Suicide Squad, fucking never ending. Be like, oh, sorry, Susie, you didn't make the training cut. You failed a test last week. Eat this pound of C4, and then go hug that general.
Yeah.
They had the technology. You could have put like a fucking little microphone on the tooth, and you whistle a specific tune, and that's your boom boom tune.
Oh, you gotta be careful. That's how Yelena and Natasha called each other, was that special little whistle.
Well, yeah, that's because they passed.
Yeah. I was really upset about the scene when I was expecting a big fight scene when the Red Room came and surrounded the house after Melina called them. And I was really hoping to get David Harbour just wrecking kids. And then he just gets ruined by the Ace Ventura darts.
I thought that was good, though, because like, he gets hit with one, and he's like, they think that's going to, and then immediately just fucking pelted.
Yeah.
I would have liked like a witty comment or like a from Yelena. I think that would have 100% been in character. Like, you couldn't have taken cover.
Yeah.
Like, all it is, you should a quick quip for the lulz. When that plane is like, or after I guess they subdue everyone in the house, it's a little bit obvious that it's Scarlett Johansson based off the look after she tases Yelena as Melina. I think the look she gives her, it's a little bit obvious that that's not Melina. because she 100% would have done that, no problem.
Yeah.
Even if it was real, or if it was like she was really betraying them or like had a sneaky plan, she wouldn't have given that look.
Yeah.
And I think that's what because after Taskmaster walks in right after that, they make eye contact, and it seems like there's a little bit of tension. And I think maybe that's why, because Yelena, as we know from this point, would have been a cold-hearted bitch. Like,
Yeah.
no feelings, like, whoops, you got blood on the floor. I gotta mop that up later. Gary, that's one of her pigs. Come lick this up.
But yeah. Uh-oh. We just mentioned, though, the other baddie. We didn't bring it up the whole podcast, even though I had some cool parts in it. But the other baddie, yes, was Taskmaster. From the comic books, Taskmaster basically is this assassin, trained killer, badass who can mimic your fighting style just by looking at it once. In the comics, he actually he started, I think, like a school in New York. And was training people and stuff like that. But yeah, he throughout this movie, you see him emulate Captain America, Black Panther, I think Barton at one point.
Yep.
And not so much. Now, a lot of people were pissed at the reveal they did of who Taskmaster actually was. Before we find out who they actually were, do you want to tell them a little bit of the backstory, going back to Budapest with Clinton, and where they thought they were bombing Dreykov? They were looking to get Dreykov in.
Oh, so yeah, well, Natasha was just trying to clear her ledger. She was going to kill Dreykov by blowing up the building that he was in and then defect to S.H.I.E.L.D. So they asked if it was clear, and it wasn't. Dreykov's daughter was in the building, but that is what we like to call in the business acceptable casualties.
Yep.
So Natasha was like, no, it's clear. And then boom goes the dynamite.
Yep. So she thinks all these years it's all done. And then it brings up the Red Room again with Yelena. Yelena's asking her, hey, like, well, if you killed him, let me know. You can see the pain throughout that whole explanation from Natasha that she knew that Dreykov's daughter was in there. Didn't say it was, but so anyways, you get past it. Everyone thinks that both Dreykov and his daughter are dead, and it turns out that Dreykov's daughter is Taskmaster. He put a chip in her head, had her do all these things, took control of her. And a lot of people were pissed about that. Which, like, to be fair, yeah, in the comics, whatever, Taskmaster is this dude. He's a badass. I don't think that was his backstory. It wasn't part of the Red Room. I think it was a neat way to implement the character to fit the story. And it was a nice little twist. It helps out, and it leaves the character open for more because she ends up saving her. Which, I don't know how, like, that anti-widow juice, like, it fucking disperses in neat ways, I guess. Like, is it a gas? Is it a liquid? I don't know, because, like, when she saves him, or when they blow it up, it sort of seems like it's a gas. So I think it's maybe it's an aerosol.
I'm assuming it was, like, it's a liquid in contained form. So maybe it's like liquid nitrogen. Like you have a vial of liquid nitrogen. It's liquid.
Yeah.
But you break it open, and it evaporates so quick.
Okay.
So it becomes like a slight gas, but there's also a little bit of liquidity to it. Because it makes sense because it was liquid when it was in the tubes, but then it becomes a gas almost like instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume we're gonna learn more about that with more of like Yelena, because they'd be fucking insane if they don't do a backstory on her like a TV show, because you get to see her with the widows, how she gets to join or start whatever group she's currently assassinating for, because it's very clear she's still an assassin. and I would like to see more of Taskmaster as well. I didn't have an issue with the character at all. Like I know a lot of people were like, "But it's a man. It should be a man." But the way they did it in the movie was it fit
Yeah.
because Dreykov 100% would have done that. He doesn't give a fuck if that's his daughter. Like in his eyes, I feel like as soon as she was scarred like that, he was like, "Well, this is a useless hunk of flesh, hanging on to like a little bit of life. Let's turn her into a weapon because we know how to do that."
Yeah.
That, and he doesn't have to worry about anything. Like you don't have to worry about the parents coming because I'm the parents and I don't give a fuck what's happening to her.
Yeah.
I would like to know. It also, I think I prefer her origins over the comic book because in the comic book, I think he has like photo reflexes or some shit like that, and that's what allows him to like copy the fighting styles in an instant. This one, you don't see it in an instant. She was watching a fight between Black Widow and Barton, the Civil War footage. I wanted to know how they got that because it looked like it was from Sam's drone or something. Like it was directly over them the entire time when it was like that short clip. So I don't know, maybe someone like they hacked it or I would just like to know how they got that footage. But it doesn't seem like this version of Taskmaster is like they see someone's fighting style and they instantly know how to counter it. They have their special helmet and their special suit, which we've seen from the inside view of the suit. It analyzes the opponent in real time, so I'm assuming it's more like computerized, sort of like a Tony situation.
Yeah, when he was beating Cap.
Yeah, because it could be the exact same thing. Like maybe they even got that technology from Tony because they obviously have an in or a way to hack someone who can like spy on the Avengers.
Yeah.
I would love. I really hope that they go more in depth with Taskmaster. I It's never gonna happen, but I would love for Taskmaster to just like end up at St. Margaret's Home for Wayward Girls with Deadpool
Yeah.
because like she's an assassin, right? That's all she knows. That's all she's ever known. That's what she's quite literally built for.
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming like Taskmaster and Deadpool run across each other in the comics a lot.
Yeah, because Deadpool's the only one that can beat Taskmaster.
Yeah, because Deadpool has no fighting style. It's just chaos, pretty much, and that's the reason why he can't actually copy his, or she, I guess, can't copy his fighting style. I also really like the costume. Like it wasn't 100% accurate to the comics, but it did pay homage to the comics. I find while still allowing like a modern combat suit look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely fit. And I do know that the actress that played Taskmaster would really like to come back and do more with the character, which would be cool because it's one of those characters that can easily pop up here and there for missions, even in like TV shows. I'm sure Lady Hydra definitely is aware of her, probably for sure, even with that post credit scene. It's Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Too much.
Lady Hydra is what she is referred to in the comics, and this one, this was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so you sort of got an intro to the character in the post credit scene before she pops up in that show. But yeah, I love that little villain. Even when she got gassed, I did like it that it was Natasha was like saying sorry, like I'm so sorry for like this is what I did, and all her reaction was, is he finally gone?
Yeah.
So just showing that not only do these chemicals just take control of their almost like their motor functions and everything like that, they're still very much aware that they're being taken control of. It's very much a get out scenario where the person controlling is at the front and you're at the back, and you just have to try and enjoy the ride and hope that it doesn't fuck you up so bad.
And then, like Yelena does say earlier in the movie, like basically she felt that she was two people, and she never knew which one she was. Like,
Yeah.
she's 100% conscious for all this shit going down, but she can't stop it. And even the first girl to, like, unalive herself because she broke her leg, and I guess he didn't want any information. Dreykov didn't want any information getting out. As she's about to tase herself to death, she's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then, boop, you're dead.
But yeah, it was too much.
No, that should be good. It was just because the map is going to pop off in a few seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you, if you watch on YouTube, we've actually decided that, because we're doing it in the same room now, just to make sure that we're all following along and not forgetting parts, because we've stopped taking notes.
I have notes. See, there was nothing in, like, Central Africa.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think it was on the coast. Unless it's all the red lights. I don't know, it's the white ones, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we got the movie playing right beside us.
And also,
So
it makes the podcast better, because then we can, like, as we're going along, if we forgot something or we, like, need clarification on a certain thing, like, I don't think he had any agents in Wakanda.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Maybe in, I didn't see New York. You think Emily Hill? Agent Hill?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, Nick would have smelt it.
Yeah, 100%.
Fury would have smelt that out.
She wouldn't have let Fury live, because she was, like, 100% down to keep him a secret when he was almost dead, or, like, thought dead by every other person. Like, not even Black Widow was trusted that much.
Yeah.
So if Dreykov put someone in S.H.I.E.L.D. / which they knew, well, maybe they didn't know at the time, but
yeah,
because Yelena mentioned that they stole from S.H.I.E.L.D., which was actually Hydra at the time in Ohio. But I don't know if they found that out after Natasha leaked everything.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that. Clarifying a clarification after I clarified. Also, I have notes. Fuck you. I have several paragraphs worth of notes. I'll pick one at random. Super Dad just flipped a fucking truck. Wait a minute. Was that a fucking Ford Ranger? And then Russians built different.
That's true.
Because, I mean, he flipped a car.
Yeah.
And also the fucking giant bear man who got his wrist snapped.
The dude was a machine. But yeah. I think the only thing that, like, one of the few things that I didn't like, I felt the ending was a little rushed. Like, they needed to, they wanted to kill Dreykov and save all the widows and do this and bring down everything. Dreykov's death, again, maybe it was, like, more symbolic to, like, yeah, he blew up again, and it was the sister that got him this time, but it almost like it was her full transition over.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed kind of lame for the most part. Like, I just stuck a thing in a propeller and blew up his ship, and he was toast. For being the big bad villain of the movie, it seemed a little hasty on the death. I get that he wasn't fully the big bad because he was only in a few scenes, and which is kind of good, because I feel like if you have that great villain, it sort of detracts from the protagonist. Like, Loki clearly was probably the best part about the first Avengers. No. Like, it was definitely great showing the team coming together and then that excitement that you get, but Tom Hiddleston steals the show every time he plays Loki.
Mm-hmm. And they definitely did a good job of, like, downplaying Loki's role towards the end, like making him into a joke, which I think helped take away from the character. Whereas this one, he's, like, the evil mastermind up until the point he dies. I didn't really have an issue with the way that she did it. It was a little campy, obviously, because it's like slow motion, like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, even though I don't have to. Like, I could have just hucked a grenade in there.
Yeah,
like, it would have sucked it up anyways. But I thought it was kind of fitting. Like, he doesn't get some grand death, right? Like, he needs to die, so he dies.
Yeah.
As far as we know, he was like 10,000 feet in the air. and his helicopter exploded and you saw his glasses fly, but he's not confirmed dead. But how many people other than the Black Widows could have survived that? Because he's nothing special. The only thing that he has is money.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's how the whole thing started. He had money and connections and like found a way to start stealing kids, and he's like, well, let's train these people and then they'll kill people for us.
Yeah.
And we'll make it so they can't say no.
Yeah. A knowledge of psychology. He was just a psychologist. He was the Russian Freud.
Yeah, so he was just fucking useless, pretty much. And that's why I don't have an issue with the way he died, because it's just like he's just getting his just desserts. Like a coward dies a quick death.
Yeah. And I guess it does also fit like that assassin build too, where you're just like, boom, in, job done, out.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it does make a little bit of sense, and it saves the time for to focus more on the main characters, which that sky scene was pretty sick.
I thought it was good, but I did have some issues with it. I've never gone skydiving. I don't plan on going skydiving, but I feel like if there's a bunch of shrapnel in the air and giant pieces of things that could definitely kill you, but also tear apart your fucking parachute, you wouldn't open the parachute yet.
Yeah.
But I get why she did, because like you weren't thinking of like when's the best time to open this. It's just I need to save my sister at that point.
Yeah.
I am glad they didn't do it, but at the same time I would have loved to see it. When Scarlett Johansson like grabs the parachute and then jumps off the falling ship, and she goes through that like other like mock Quinjet.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have her like just either try and grab another parachute, because I think there was some like right by the door,
Yeah.
or like actually grab another parachute and just like slip it on and then go down. Because like as soon as she jumps off, because she does manage to save her sister after she gets blown off the ship, by giving her the parachute that she brought, and then she just like sees Taskmaster fucking making a beeline through the sky at her, and she kicks off with a little foreshadowing to the end or Infinity War.
Yeah.
Which I made a note of. I can see it. But like, how did you know that Taskmaster had a parachute, or were you just like willing to make that play?
Yeah. Just do the gamble and
say
fuck it. Let's take this thing out. But I don't even know if she was like trying to like she grabbed 2 vials. So I think when she grabbed those vials, like her ultimate goal was to save Taskmaster. So maybe she would have known that it would have had like a chute built into the suit, because you only need one to recreate that serum.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if I was a super secret spy and there was 2 vials within my reach, I would just grab both vials, because what if something happens? Like I'm on a falling ship in the sky.
Yeah.
Something is definitely going to go wrong. So what happens if one of those vials breaks and then we don't have the other one, right? Plus she had no way of knowing where Taskmaster was if she was where she was, which is in a prison cell.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have comms. It's only Yelena and Melina that do.
Yeah.
So I was just under the assumption like she just grabbed it, like, because more samples is better. And then obviously she runs into Taskmaster. It's very clear that she wants to save Taskmaster. I think she was very, very much unaware if it would work, because you don't know if like that conditioning is just the Black Widow sauce, or is it coming from the chip in the neck, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was probably just a play. That's why like when she broke it in front of her, she sniffed it in, and then she immediately like looked into her eyes to see if it was working. Like a lot of people were like, oh no, she was just like tired or whatever, but I think she was like grabbing the head, look into the eyes, make sure that you can see the shit going away.
Yeah.
'Cause if not, then you gotta fucking rip out the computer chip, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I had an issue because like you don't know if that person has the fucking parachute built into their suit. Seems a little silly to make that assumption. So just like grab a parachute for yourself.
Yeah,
that would have been better. And then you could have had Taskmaster like just fucking rip it off with her mock claws from
Wakanda gloves. Yeah. But yeah, the diving through. Yeah, the pulling the chute. As soon as I saw the chute pulling, I was like, That's a very small piece of cloth surrounded by falling metal.
Yeah, that's some of it's on fire.
Yeah, that's ballsy as hell
Yeah,
to pull that.
the speed on Black Widow as well. That she put a full. I don't know. I'm assuming she didn't put her on correctly, like no leg hoops, but she fucking got the parachute backpack on Yelena in half a second
Yeah.
while spinning in the air because she just fucking nosedived into her.
Yeah. That just shows she's a pro.
It's fucking great. She's number one at her job. Another thing I really enjoyed was when Black Widow jumped out of the window after the ship was like, or after she downloaded all the Black Widow data of all the like hidden ones, and she was running down that hallway as the explosion is chasing her, and she like shoots out the window and jumps out, and she gets engulfed in flames. I was like, wow, that's a little campy, little bullshit. Like they didn't show anything, but then I noticed like they animated her hair being singed. I paused
really?
it and like got right up against my screen. Yeah, they animated her hair being singed, which I've never seen in another movie, or I've never like paid attention to, which I thought was an amazing attention to detail.
Yeah. The fact usually you just see them like blowing the fuck up, and then you're just like, wow, they just walked away from that fucking class 4 forest fire with nothing. Yeah. That's impressive. Like good,
stood
good
next
job.
to a fucking Molotov cocktail being thrown, and they were like, "Yeah, no, it's a little warm."
What's heat? Let's give me some of that.
I don't know what heat is. I didn't play that game.
But yeah, I enjoyed that. I don't know. I think she. I don't know if she at the end of the movie does she get captured by Ross, or is she like?
I think she gets away. She has to get away because she either that or she makes a deal. Like I feel like Ross probably saw everything around, and she's like, "Yeah, this was fuck, what's his name? Chekhov. Fuck it, that's his name.
Dreykov.
Chekhov.
Dreykov.
This is Dreykov Chekhov's secret room where he trained assassins, and then he was probably like, "I'm about to bust, boys. Get the camera. We gotta take pictures of this shit." And then in the confusion, she was just sort of like slink away because it does show her with her hair cut like it was at the beginning of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And she's got the same vest on.
Yeah.
That's what I want to pay attention to. And she has the Quinjet. So that was right before like she was on her way to go get Cap and then break her friends out of prison.
Yeah.
So the ending of this movie happens before the ending of Civil War, or before the post-credit scene, I should say.
Yeah. Where he likes to watch the red light blink.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a great sort of solo film for the character.
How old is Yelena in this movie? Like, do you know how old the character is? I want to say she's like early 20s.
I think so, yeah.
But that means that Scarlett Johansson's only like late 20s to early 30s. Because there was not that much of an age difference when they were young.
Yeah. Well, she definitely was younger in the, because if that happened in the 90s, I think it was around 2008, 2009 MCU time, when Tony first comes out as Iron Man, and then the second one happens pretty much right after. So,
well, actually, they do say in this movie it's been 20. You haven't seen us in 20 years.
Yeah.
So she's at least like I want to say early 20s, just because after she gets the fucking widow juice out of her, she is stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because like for any specific reason other than I wrote it down, because you don't just forget that loud noises make avalanches. But she was just like, nah, I'm gonna hit this fucking tower breaking out of my dad out of prison with a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
and then she's surprised when an avalanche starts. She's like, ooh, forgot about that part.
Yeah, it's a very impulsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be a cool way to die.
Not really. Buried alive?
Yeah, but you're buried alive, breaking someone out of prison in a sick chopper. Compared to how she was going to die later on in the movie, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Assassinating a fucking supervillain and then skydiving to death?
No, having her brain cut out.
Well, that's not going to kill you. Not 100% guaranteed. She was going to be alive for some of that. They said it in the movie. Keep her alive for like part of the dissection, which would technically make it a vivisection. Fun fact for the kids: vivisect your parents.
No, don't do that.
No, don't.
Just a joke.
Only if you get their
For
permission.
all legal purposes.
Write up a contract. Get them to
ask
sign it. Say it's for
them first.
school.
Well, yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a good, just generic action movie. Great characters brought forward. Would love to see more of them in future MCU projects. I think we're definitely going to see Yelena in the Hawkeye series, which is coming out later this month. I think August or November 24th is the first episode. Catch that on Disney Plus. We're not sponsored by them. That's just where you're gonna watch it.
You can sponsor us though.
Yeah, 100%. Marvel, what's up? You don't listen, Mr. Feige. I swear to God, I won't spoil anything.
Kevin, I can keep a secret better than Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And I'm older.
Yeah.
I was gonna say more attractive, but that is a goddamn lie.
Yeah. Can you be better than Ruffalo?
What do you mean better than Ruffalo?
To keep a secret.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even have Instagram.
I've got secrets from myself.
Oh, that's... Do you just, like, find things in your room and you're just like, what the fuck?
No. There's things that have happened or didn't happen, and I've forgotten about them entirely.
Yeah.
Until something happens and I'm traumatized. And I'm like, oh, wait, this has happened before.
I will remember you.
I guess, I don't know how far along we are in the recording because I can't see. But if we're getting close to that time for ratings, I do want to point out, right at the end of the movie, as Yelena and Melina and Alexia are flying off with the widows, and it pans back to Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
something flies out of the sky. I don't know. I was assuming it was like Tony's suit or like a robot or something like that, but 100% something zooms towards the ground from the sky in the opposite direction of where like the Red Room plane was.
Really?
Yeah. I was gonna get you to leave it open to like confirm like that I'm not fucking crazy, but I wrote it down because I was very, very confused. I didn't notice that the first time I watched this, and I don't know. I wanted to know what it was, but that could have been like 100%. Well, no, it couldn't have been Tony because Tony at that point would have been in Siberia. Well, no, maybe not.
Yeah, should be around Siberia.
Or in like in Avengers Tower. Oh wait, maybe not. A little bit back. Oh wait, maybe not.
But yeah, that would be kind of cool, and just seeing like someone come forth and see that.
Because it's got to be someone that like is still a part of the Avengers and under like the Sokovia Accords, and the only person that can fly would be Tony.
Yeah.
He's kind of fucked up at the moment.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be Rhodey, because we find him Rhodey he's still fucked up.
Yeah, well, because
Falcon?
No, he's in prison.
Oh right. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to think. Like the only person that would have the capability of flight and use of their legs would be Tony.
Maybe that's where it sort of landed, like
where what landed?
Like where the Red Room, and they would see like Tony. You can see him in the distance dropping down. I don't know. Well,
it doesn't show like what it is. It just like flies across the screen towards the ground.
Okay. But yeah, we'll just wait for that to pop in. If you are doing the watch throughs, and you get to Black Widow, and you have never seen a Marvel movie before, I know this is probably terribly late warning, because we've talked about so much stuff in Infinity War and everything like that, but don't watch the end credit scene.
Yeah, it very much spoils the rest of the MCU. So as soon as the movie ends, it ends. Do not watch past.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say if you're watching it through the first time, don't even watch any end credit scenes, because it sometimes it can ruin it, sometimes it can spoil stuff. So pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was after that and right when the trucks start pulling in. I believe it pans. It's going to come in from the left side of the screen, going towards the right.
All right.
See it?
No, I missed it.
Go back. Back more. As soon as it pans to her, watch the left or the sky.
To the left of her head?
The fuck?
Was it just debris you saw?
No, like 100% saw something fly in.
Well, this one here is not on Disney Plus, and I do know sometimes in Disney Plus they do edit things in.
Fair enough.
To the movie. So let us know if you guys saw something when you watched it on Disney Plus. If there was something in there, or if Jordan's seeing things.
I'm not seeing things.
Maybe
Well,
there's a
obviously
bug
I'm seeing
in the room.
things.
Oh.
I'm hearing things too. What was that?
All right, let's get some ratings in here. What do we? What do you got for us, Jordan?
I'm gonna give this one an 8. I think it's a very fantastic movie. Everyone should check it out. It's definitely one of the better movies of the MCU. I'd say probably it's like top 7.
Yeah.
I don't want to in no specific order, but yeah, top 7. No real flaws that I could think of offhand. It's got a good mix of action, comedy, not so much romance, but a familial love to it.
Yeah.
So it's not. It does have a love story, but it's not like a romantic love story. And it's also not overly done. I think it's done phenomenally well. Yeah, just overall a very, very good movie. It's a solid 8.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off that, and also it's an 8. The intro to characters is what I love about these solo films, is the characters that they're going to bring in. Yelena's awesome. Red Guardian's great. Taskmaster, I hope they do more with him, or her, sorry, in the future, just because, like I said, it's one of those characters you can just bring in and out just because of the backstory. The funny bits were great, even and it's a consistent funny, even watching it a few extra times. It's one of those things where I'll still chuckle and laugh at the other things, especially Yelena. But yeah, I'm giving it an 8, so that's an 8 from us here at By the Rail Side. If you want, let us know what your ratings are. Twitter at By Railside, maybe even on Instagram, TikTok. We're gonna try and get some things. I got a couple ideas, be neat little things, but yeah, just give us a follow. Join us on Fridays or Saturdays where we record live on twitch.tv/By the Railside. Other than that, you got anything you want to add? Well, that's a good ad. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week where we is it Black no, Spider-Man. That doesn't seem right.
I
Does
think
it?
you got them out of order.
I don't think so. That's what the website said.
Disney Plus said Black Panther was before Black Widow.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Can't say that.
It's definitely a lie. I'm very sure it's a lie.
No idea. I think they probably just put it that way because they're right at Captain America Civil War, which it wasn't Captain America. It was Avengers Civil War. Let's be fucking honest here. But Civil War introduced Black Panther, and it also the end credit scene introduced Wakanda. So I think that's probably why they put it that way.
Yeah.
This came out this year, so they were probably let's just fucking chuck it in the timeline.
Where do we
we'll figure it out later.
Yeah. So Spider-Man Homecoming will be our next one, and then the week after we'll go to Wakanda.
Not really though. I don't have my
also last little bit. Make sure you go out and see Eternals. Eternals comes out this week. Comes out on Friday, November 5th. Go check it out. Fuck the critics. Make your own goddamn opinion. That's all I'll say on that.
Critics are useless. They're old fucking white dudes who don't know
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, listen to us young dudes that don't know shit at By the Railside.
I know shit. Several kinds of it, too.
Yeah,
I have multiple kinds a day.
many shit. All right.
I'm not crazy. Zoom.
Oh. Which part of her head am I looking at? Am I looking to the right or to the left of her
Look
head?
at the sky.
I am looking at the sky, but there's a lot of sky there.